me if I'm wrong, is that the schools are pretty close, but very different in terms of, I guess, just the nature of each community. Do you think that, would you kind of that aspect or that kind of the differences there help form the programs? Is there a trickle down effect to you guys taking on the personality of your schools at all?
Coach?
Yeah, I think they're very much different. Location, type of school, everything, and I think maybe based off of maybe the type of guys that go to Lewis aren't necessarily the same guys that come to Loyola. It's very much different in that sense. If you're happy at Loyola, you wouldn't be happy at Lewis. It's that much of a difference between the academic strengths or weaknesses, the location, maybe coaching styles. It's across the board. It's two very different programs.
Since both of you guys are from the area, what does it mean to you that these two schools with so many Illinois, Wisconsin players are involved?
Thomas? I think it's huge just for the game. I know back when I committed to Loyola, staying near home wasn't necessarily important for me. And looking back, I would make that decision 100 times out of 100. I have great support from my family. My parents don't miss a match, and I have like 15 family members here. They made the trip out from Florida, Colorado, and Illinois. And I think it's huge to just be able to bring that to the Midwest. And Lewis is the same way. They've really built a good program, and they've come in very strong in the last few years. They made the Final Four, what was it, 3 years ago? So my senior year of high school, they made it, and they made the Final Six last year, now championship this year. So I think it's great for the game.
Those are people behind us there on press row being so crazy.
Yeah. That would be.
They're not right. They're not right.
Tom,
Go ahead. If you would answer it.
yeah, I definitely think it's great for the game. With us winning last year, it definitely shows a lot of parity throughout the game. Even in the club, last year a team from Arizona won the 18 Open Nationals, so that was something that we've never seen before. So it just shows top to bottom, volleyball all over the country is getting everyone stepping up their game.
Thomas, this is the first opportunity we've had to talk to you since you were named the National Player of the Year on Wednesday. What was that like being able to win that award?
It's definitely cool, but you kind of have to take it for what it is. It's a plaque, but it's not the memories that I can create with these guys. It's not playing with my team, so it's awesome, and I'm super grateful. And there are a lot of other deserving candidates, in my opinion. But I would take a national championship trophy over that trophy 100 times out of 100.
Dan, we talked about it last year about you guys, Shane, you and Dan talked about it last year. Whatever. And you talked about, the chance of playing each other, and then I asked him in the last press conference if you guys talked about it this year. He said he doesn't remember that you ever did. About the possibilities of this happening tomorrow night.
I think once the tournament bracket was announced, I think I shot him a text and I said, I hope we're in the finals together. It would be a pretty cool match. So I think that's about all the conversation we've had about it. Pretty much it. So looking forward to it tomorrow night.
Shane, you look at the conference as a whole, just historically, was there a moment maybe within the last 5 years when you kind of noticed a turning point with the conference and that they had really taken the next step to have, two teams now in the finals?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the club programs, recruiting. We've got the group of West Allis that came in, the sports performance group that came in, and started getting a chunk of guys that were playing together. And Lewis kind of was doing the same thing. And once we started getting those guys, the homegrown talent, staying home and playing for these programs, that was kind of the big shift. And you get a couple back-to-back classes like what we've got and what Lewis had. And I think that was the big shift. And you sprinkle in a couple West Coast kids and maybe East Coast kid here and there, and then all of a sudden you've got a pretty good group in back-to-back years, and that's kind of why we're sitting here.
Yeah. And just going off that, was it difficult, or how difficult is it to get a Midwest kid to stay in the Midwest when a West Coast school can be promising them 70 degrees of sun year-round as opposed to 10 inches of snow a day?
Yeah, we don't mention the snow too much or anything. We bring them on campus. Loyola's a beautiful campus. We tell everybody it's 75 and sunny every day, and obviously isn't the case all the time. But Chicago's a world-class city. It's right on the water. It's a beautiful campus. It's everything everything's got that new car smell. It's a pretty cool selling point, and you know, we advertise ourselves as the football program at Loyola, and guys kind of, you know, the student body or people know who guys are before they even set foot on campus, and that's pretty special and a pretty cool selling point for anybody. And the home piece, like Thomas was mentioning, family and friends being able to come and see them play, and they have great support.
Thomas, Jake, quick question for you. You know, last year in the NCAA finals, you know, sold out crowd. Saturday night could be a little bit of a different environment as opposed to that. How are you guys going to be able to? Will you be able to still feed off the crowd energy even if there isn't as big of a crowd?
Jake?
Yeah, definitely. We try to focus on our side of the net anyway, so we bring it together after every point and create our own energy throughout the match.
Thomas?
Yeah, like he was mentioning, our parents do a good job. So just feed off them and just kind of embrace the moment, you know, whether it's sold out or not, you know, just it's a pleasure to be out there and to be playing for our school. So I think just enjoy the moment, knowing where we're at, and playing for each other is the biggest thing.
Anything else?
Oh, Shane, one final question for me. 2003, your final year as a player, if I'm not mistaken, you lost to Lewis in the conference finals. What do you remember from that match being your final college match?
Bringing it up, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, obviously disappointed, and you know, obviously Lewis had their issues after they won that, and you know, it was kind of something. You know, I think there was a big rivalry back then between Loyola and Lewis, and there's I would call maybe a hatred. You know, and I think it started out with the two previous coaches before Dan and I. You know, and I think it's a little bit different rivalry now, like what Thomas had mentioned, but it's all in the past and it's all moving forward, and the two programs are a lot different than back then. So you know, playing days were great. We're moving on, and we've created new things and better things, and it's different.
One last one. Same thing I asked the kids, since you're from there, you played there. What does this mean to you personally as a volleyball guy that these two schools are playing each other with so many Illinois and Wisconsin players?
Yeah, I think it says a lot about just Midwest volleyball. It says a lot about the two staffs. You know, both staffs work really hard, put in a lot of time. They spend a lot of time over their summers, their time off, doing USA volleyball stuff, and you know, learning new tactics, learning the game. So it just goes a long way, just in terms of the intelligence of both programs, the kind of guys that they're able to get, and just the innovative teaching that's going on with our group, and just how hard these guys are working. And we love hard working